believe you're getting so worked up about some guy.
Women. What can you say?
Friends.
Without.
Benefits.
I'm a girl.
I'm the dude, man.
I'm 100% that big.
Hello. Really jolted you awake there. Welcome
That
to
was so loud.
Friends Without Benefits podcast, episode 29.
29? For
The-
any new girl fans out there?
Oh, okay.
I thought you just went to raise your hand. I was like, no, you're not.
No, yeah.
29?
A buddy of mine is obsessed with that show.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't.
A
I've
mutual
met only
friend
a
of
few guys that like that show.
My manager loves that show.
That's great. Your manager must have good taste because it's a delightful show.
Yeah, he's got pretty good taste, I think.
That is currently on my rotation to watch before bed.
Nice. That's
because it's funny.
sitcom, right?
It's a sitcom. Zoe Deschanel.
Property Brothers.
Jake Johnson. Stop.
That's what she's
Please.
dating.
I
That's
know,
just-
but I really am not okay with it. I don't
If
like
she's
them
happy
together.
though. If she's happy though.
No, I think she must be lost. And
I just want her. Oh.
And that's why she's with
Mic
them.
stand
Yeah,
issues.
technical difficulty. No, that makes me upset. And please don't say that again. I think we've hit the limit of Property Brothers for the rest of this year.
Well, that remains to be
Unless
seen.
any news happens with them.
There we go.
That's it.
Now we're talking.
Big news. Huge.
Yeah.
Jake Johnson.
Jack Johnson.
Jake Johnson. Not Jack Johnson.
Jacob.
Confusing. Okay. Well, forget it.
That's
Whatever.
his name.
No, his name is Jake Johnson.
It's not Jake. Jacob isn't short
No.
for Jacob.
No.
Okay.
Don't look it up.
All right. Wasn't just clicking on.
Just clicking away.
Just clicking.
Yep. Nothing special about 29. That's it.
Neither of us have reached that age, so something to look forward to.
But some of us will soon.
And
Crazy.
hopefully both of us will eventually. I mean,
Whatever. Only the good die young.
yeah. That's who is that? Billy Joel,
Yeah.
the guy, the myth.
Speaking of Billy Joel, but not Bob Dylan, Timothée Chalamet will be playing Bob Dylan in a movie.
Oh, that makes sense. They got
And
similar hair.
Exciting. Would love to see him in a rock. I just love the movies they're making, like the musical movies, like Elton John and Queen and all that. Like, sign me up.
Are you a Bob Dylan fan?
No, but I will be by the time, because the movie's not even in like production yet. Oh, a lot of things aren't in production right now. So I'll just become one. It's not a big deal. And then here's what I am going to say. I think Harry Styles should play Bowie when they eventually do Bowie.
But he's like the Mick Jagger guy.
Harry?
Yeah.
Okay, well, if they do Mick Jagger.
Rolling Stones.
Yeah, but I think Bowie wore such crazy outfits that would really make sense. And then someone needs to play
Yeah.
Tom Petty. We already have an Elvis one coming up, which I'm excited about too.
Who's that? Who's going to be
Austin
Elvis?
Butler. He used to date Vanessa Ann Hutchins, who used to be Zac Efron's girlfriend, who was in High School Musical, who all of y'all pretended that y'all don't like that movie, but we know you do. I know you do.
I haven't seen it, but
High School Musical?
Yeah, I've never saw it. Remember, that was the whole thing. I was like, I think a lot of guys didn't vote for it because they never saw it.
Well, I think you should.
Yeah. I mean, maybe at some point.
I just think to just laugh, you should just do it. And then the third one, you really don't need to watch the second one. The third one is great.
I'll probably watch the first. I watched the first Twilight.
Recently?
No, in high school.
Well, and you watched some of the fourth one.
That's true. That is true. Yeah, it was on
the most
TBS.
graphically offensive one.
Yeah, where she was like wasting away. It was very
Yeah,
not
and then
okay.
her body breaks and she drinks blood and then she dies. Something light for the kids.
Yeah, it was graphic. It was definitely graphic.
It is so hard to watch just because, like, when you say, like, oh, like her back breaks, but it's like.
It snaps in half. Yeah.
It is crazy.
It's like Bane with Batman.
And she's just like rail thin. It's so aggressive, but whatever, man.
What'd you get into this weekend? Anything fun? Any new shows? Any new movies? I know you're a big movie buff.
Yeah, don't push me.
That's an honest question.
I didn't get into anything fun. My period struck me down in the prime of life, And so it was another lazy weekend for your lazy co-host. Just kidding. But I finished Veep, and that was very emotional. Definitely one of the funniest shows I've ever seen. It's over.
Okay. I didn't know if she was...
It ended last year.
Oh, gotcha.
And then last year was like she found out she had cancer, and they had to push back the last season, and then they finished the last season. One of the funniest shows I've ever seen, especially like being by myself and laughing out loud. Like that's how you know if I think something's funny, if I'm laughing out loud by myself.
Yeah, that's definitely a testament to it.
And then there was like, and there would be some lines, because I'm a pretty crude person, but like this show was like one thing that was said, I just was like, like was shocked at how crude it was, but it was hilarious. So highly recommend. It's on Prime and HBO.
Oh, it's on Prime.
And well, maybe it's only on Prime if you like pay for HBO as well.
Got it. That
because
would make
like
sense.
yeah. But I highly recommend it. And then I watched the season 7 bloopers, which is the last season, like right after I finished the season, and I didn't realize they were going to do like the wrap of everybody's scenes at the end, and it was so emotional. I was just like crying. Anyways,
That's
but
brutal.
Tony Hale, who is Gary in the show, he is like one of my favorite characters of all time. He just steals the show for me.
Did you ever
highly recommend.
Did you ever watch Arrested Development?
I've watched some of Arrested Development, and then I watched some of it when they kind of like rebooted it. It's very, very slow. Like, it's kind of hard for me to watch, but I wonder if I should like go back into it.
I mean, it's not like a...
Because I freaking love Michael Cera. So I don't know. But it's like, there's something about it that's like, come on.
Yeah, it's not going to like grab you. It's just like really like witty writing.
Yeah.
But it's very...
But
it's
I feel like I watch other
funny.
shows like that, so I was kind of surprised. But he did make me want to watch Arrested
Give it a
Development.
chance, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And then I forgot to say last time I watched the new Mulan, and then yesterday I watched the OG Mulan.
Oh, okay. Okay, I got you.
Last weekend I watched the new Mulan. Not gonna spoil it, but just like who was it for? It wasn't for anybody.
Well,
because like for the people who OG liked it, everybody knows this part. Like they took out the music. There's no Mushu. Like there's no humor to it. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And the Mulan was my favorite Disney movie still. Like
it was very
number
funny.
one. Very funny. Eddie Murphy. And even like some not Eddie Murphy parts are funny. But anyways,
yeah,
and
for sure.
Mulan is known for their music. Like they have such good music, and like 98 Degrees and Christina Aguilera on the soundtrack. Come on. And then they took out all the music, and people were upset. And then they took out Mushu, and then like let's just say the story is pretty different.
How do you not have Let's Get Down to Business? That's like the all-time.
Exactly. And how do you make? Okay, I always get the bad guy and then the hot guy's name confused because it's like Sean, and then Shane.
I think Shang is the bad guy, the Mongolian.
Shane, okay, and then like Sean. I don't know. Are you looking it up?
It's just coming up with a new one, and the names are different.
Say Mulan, 1997.
Yeah, 98. Filmed in 97. So,
Well,
Li Shang is that was BD Wong. That's crazy. He's like huge, and he was Li Shang versus who's the other? Wait, there's two Li Shangs. Donny Osmond and BD Wong. What? I'm so confused.
I have no
It's
idea.
also it's also not showing. It's showing the
I bet I could
the
find this in,
actors,
like,
so
2
I don't
seconds.
know who was. You know what I mean? It's not
Yeah.
showing the cartoon character of who the person was.
Okay. Shang is hot. Sean Yu is the bad guy.
Oh, so Shang is not the bad guy.
Yeah.
Sean Yu, Miguel Ferrer.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that just sounds like bad names. But Sean Yu.
Li Shang was BD Wong, and then I guess maybe the songs were by Donny Osmond. That's very funny.
Anyways, rewatching like cartoon Mulan, he is so hot. Like even as a cartoon, like he made me blush a little.
Okay. Learning
But
something.
I will say, like the bad guy in the new Mulan is less scary because the bad guys in the cartoon are literally gray colored. It looks like they've been dead for a while and then decided to get up and like mess some things up.
That's, I think, it's a good look because you see them and you're like evil because they are gross looking.
They are literally gray colored, and then like they're in the snow, but 2 of the guys don't wear shirts. But I mean, whatever. Like I don't care.
They're hardened, criminals, right?
Oh, I thought you were saying hard because they're like pretty like soft.
Oh,
but they're like ginormously 10 feet tall.
big dudes.
Anyways, that is my light review on the new Mulan. And then I think I said I re-downloaded Quibi, but I watched the Adam Devine show. Did I say this last time?
You did. The Magic Camp?
No. This is him on Quibi. And it's
Okay.
it's called Bad Ideas with Adam Devine. And he's like with Blake Anderson and Anders Holm and Rebel Wilson. And it is crazy.
What? I mean, elaborate. What's
No,
crazy?
that's all I'll say. So let's see. One of them, the one with Blake wasn't as crazy. It's kind of like they do those like where they race cars, but you like bash into each other.
What's like the concept of the show?
So it's just like all of them with Adam Devine, and it's just like he does something crazy. So like with Tom Middleditch,
It's like
they went to the
Jackass almost,
Bahamas.
or-
Kind of. Let me like give you an example. So he went to the Bahamas with Tom Middleditch, and they did like the where you eat the spiciest pepper, and you would go from like least spicy to hot, and like people are like vomiting. He's like just like things that are bad ideas is what he
Nice.
chooses to do with famous people.
Okay.
And then one of them with Durs, they were like in this river filled with piranhas, and he like went in there.
It definitely seems like a bad idea.
Yeah, and I was just like pretty nervous the whole time, but it was wildly entertaining because I loved Adam Devine. And it did make me realize I have a very separate but very real and different attraction to Blake, Adam, and Anders. I know.
You like all three of them?
I like all three of them in different ways.
Like Neapolitan ice cream.
Well, I don't like Neapolitan ice cream.
But I'm just saying the three separate individuals, very
and I'll
different.
tell you which one is which. Blake is chocolate. Adam is vanilla, and Anders is pink.
Strawberry. See, I think Adam's strawberry and Anders is vanilla.
Elaborate.
Just because Anders is like,
A little more vanilla, and Adam has more flavor.
yes, that's a great way to put it. I
That's
couldn't have
fair.
said it better if I said it myself.
You know what? I agree with that.
Yeah.
You know what? I just saying stuff quickly.
Astute.
Yeah, that's about it. And also, I watched Freaky Friday, and I didn't realize. Have you seen that?
The old one with Lindsay Lohan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize that Chad Michael Murray in that movie, he works at the school. He's not a student, and that really tripped me up.
Is that the love interest?
That's the love interest. So Lindsay Lohan is quote unquote 15 in the movie, and she's 17 in real life. And then like when they switch places, the mom's like, "I know he's too old for you," and I was like, "Oh, so he's probably like a junior or a senior." Because there's one scene where like she's caught cheating on a test, and he's like, "It's okay, I work here." And I always thought that line meant like it's my off hour, like I'm working in the office, but it means like he works there.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
it's like, why do we do this?
Yeah.
It's even rewatching it, I was like, this is such a good movie. But like, why couldn't they have just been in high school together? Especially because in real life she was 17 years old.
That's a hurdle that's tough to get over.
Like, why couldn't she have been a sophomore and he's a senior?
And then, yeah, I think maybe the issue was they were like, it's weird if the mom wants to like
I
sleep
did
with
think
an
about
adult
that.
or
Yeah,
a child.
but they never did anything.
Yeah.
Which is probably a heavy thing. I just
Either way,
wrote
you're
a
in
statement.
some hot water, you know.
But it's still her in the mom's body. I just feel like that way is less risque than what they did.
Actually getting with the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw that there was like some movie called like The Sleepover or something. It looks horrendous. Sleepover?
Yeah, with Jane Lynch and Alexa Vega.
I don't know who's in
Don't
it.
judge a book by its cover. And Steve Carell.
I don't think we're thinking of the same movie. This is about like I don't know what I saw a clip that's like 10 seconds. It was like a video on Twitter that was like a person was in a car and they're like, "Whoa, who's that?" And there's like some girl skateboarding.
Julie Corky. That's Sleepover.
Okay, but it was like a 18-year-old guy who's a senior in high school, and that was a girl.
And then she's graduating.
She's going into high
He's
school.
not graduating high school. Wait,
He's a
he
senior,
is.
and she's leaving 8th grade, going into her freshman year.
Yeah.
So she's like 13 or 14.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a problem. There's definitely a lot of things like watching his kids you just like didn't even think about, and it's like, why didn't we just make him
not interested
that
in an
age?
8th grader,
or just like a different age? I don't want to watch a movie where it's like, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
I'd rather watch a movie where it's like, hey, everything makes sense here.
Make her a 10th grader or him a 10th grader. Either way, it's a little bit closer, so it's not as weird.
Because I get where it's like, oh, she hasn't been at school and now she's like coming to our school. Like they didn't know each other and that was the whole thing. But now it's like icky.
That was also a ridiculous scene, the way she was skateboarding.
Yeah, but
So
that's an
unnatural.
incredible movie. Steve Carell is phenomenal.
The reason that it was like a video is because they put like the kickflip and the kickflip or whatever trick she did at the end, and it was like so clearly a body double where it's like a grown man.
Yes, it really
like,
is.
Is this like
and she's like in her dress.
Yeah, is this like what are those movies? Fuck, a spoof movie. Yeah.
It's really not. It was a movie made for girls that girls really enjoy, and I would be lying if I said I haven't watched that recently.
Okay. Well, yeah, they could have done something
That's
with change
about
the
it.
ages. Just change the ages. you know?
Exactly. I don't get like why.
Why?
Anyways, what did you do? Watch something risque too?
Not really risque. So I saw Tenet. Went to a movie theater.
I didn't even know they were open. Robert Pattinson. That's the only other person I know that's in that movie.
John David Washington, Elizabeth Debicki. First off,
I don't know those people.
Elizabeth Debicki, gorgeous. And
silly name.
What's insane? We were like, I was watching the movie and I was like, okay, she's tall, right? You're like, well, she's really tall. She's opposite some of these people, some of these guys who are, much smaller than her. It's like maybe they should have got a guy. She's 6'3". It's just like stunning to see a woman be like that tall and also like be a lead. Like it's like just crazy to see somebody who's a guy that's that tall
like
in movies.
Brienne
You know what I mean? Yeah, straight up. But that was like really just like a crazy thing where I was like, oh wow, no wonder she's like towering over these guys because
she is tall.
She's my height. Yeah. The entire movie though, so confusing.
What's it about?
I can't even explain it.
Okay.
It's like time that's going backwards and it's going forwards. You can change it.
Time Stoppers, that movie from
I don't remember that one,
Okay.
but
it's not.
You can send stuff back in time, but that it's like people from the future
Back to the Future
are trying to. I don't even know. It was so confusing. The movie Dunkirk, that people's biggest complaint was that it had very little dialogue. This was like
too much.
Christopher Nolan was like, "Oh, you want more dialogue? I'll give you more dialogue." And it was like so much dialogue. It was so difficult to like understand and follow. I liked it, but it was just like a lot of the visuals were really awesome. The acting was really good. John David Washington is Denzel's son.
Wait, the guy that's in Black Klansman?
Yes.
Yes, I like him. Well, I liked him in that movie. That's the only other thing I've seen him. He's also in Ballers.
He's
That's
in
what
Ballers.
he's known for.
That's correct.
I tried to watch that once, and I was like, "This is a boys' show for boys."
Yeah.
It did not make me like Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
I watched a season of it, and it was not good. So
okay, a lot of people like that show a lot.
That's disappointing. Get the check. I'm not shaming anybody who's working on that or doing it, but. And maybe it got better. I don't know, but it just wasn't
for you.
Yeah, it was like Entourage, but there was just like it's athletes, and then there was like a little bit more ridiculous.
That's how it sounded.
Yeah,
whatever.
But I saw that.
How did you feel at the theater?
It was cool. They spaced everybody out. Masks and everything. Unless you were
had
like
to wear masks during the whole movie.
Unless you were eating or drinking, so it was like you didn't have to have it on the whole time.
But it's like, hey.
If you're, depending where you were, you could or should have it on. But you have a row in between. Every other row is empty.
Cool.
And then you have like 2 seats in between everybody.
That's like my ideal scenario.
For sure. I don't want to sit next to anybody.
Ever. Not even people I know.
But it was good. I was happy to just like support movie theaters because I know that's like a lot of studios are like looking at like, do we even want to put movies in theaters anymore, or do we want to just release them?
So many have been pushed back, and it's like, no, release them. I'll pay. I promise.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially for French Dispatch. I want to see that.
And everybody's like, oh, you spend $20 on or $15 on a movie ticket for each person going to see a movie. And like, yeah, it's $20 to rent the movie. But the thing is, like, yeah, I'm spending $15, but that's $15 for a movie theater experience.
Exactly.
Not for
a ginormous
my TV
screen.
house. Yeah, like.
And delicious popcorn, even not that covers that cost. But
and the
still,
sound. And the sound.
The sound. Except, did you know, have you ever tried to like book a movie before too?
You mean like go see a movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen matinees.
Well, you've never seen the one where it's like the audio is going to be lowered and the lights are going to be turned on a little bit? Those are for the senior audience.
I've never seen that.
I tried to go see Little Women at, I guess, like an earlier time. I guess some would say senior time. And it was like, the volume will be lowered and the lights will be high. I was like, fuck.
That must have been like a special senior day.
No, they do that like like once a week or so. They do senior time, which is cute.
Yeah.
Except there were seniors at my show in the Little Women, and they did not shut up. But whatever.
They're like, what's going on? Who is that? You're like,
No.
I don't know. I'm watching the movie like you.
Honestly, I think I heard one of them say, loud. Should have been like, well, you should go to the 11 a.m. showing.
This is too loud.
Okay,
Please
stop.
turn it down.
Please stop with the old people voices.
But yeah, I saw that, and then I also watched, and I have in front of me, I watched
2 movies?
No, documentary, Speed Cubers. It is about these kids who are like
cubes.
incredible Rubik's Cube solvers. They can solve a Rubik's Cube in like 7 seconds. So what they do is like the competition is insane. They have this Rubik's Cube that's been all mixed up by a machine, and it's underneath like a box, and then the like competition judge will lift the box. The person gets to look at it for like 10 seconds, and then they have to like hit the timer, start solving it. As soon as they're done solving it, stop. And they do that in like 7 seconds.
Yeah.
It's insane. These kids are like crazy.
Why is yours miniature size?
Mine is miniature size because it was a prize from Austin local arcade / BYOB bar pinballs.
Oh, okay.
I did not purchase it. It just I happen to have it. And since I watched that, I've been trying to figure out how to solve it. And I'm getting pretty close. I've gotten the white side and the first 2 layers, as they're known in the cubing community. The rest of it is still tough, but I'm confident I will get there. And I just want to solve it once so that I can be like, yeah, I've solved the Rubik's Cube.
Totally. Oh, well, to make you feel worse, Justin Bieber can solve it in less than a minute.
I could do that, I think. I think I could get there.
You haven't.
Yeah, he didn't just start that way. He practiced.
He did.
No. The thing is, you have to, once you learn it already, I know like there's like an algorithm of a pattern that you have to go to do certain things. Like I can do this already after like today, which is like far more than I could have done. Like I remember trying to just solve it before, just like I can figure this out.
Yeah.
You can't.
Infuriating.
You can't figure it out. If you don't like look up like, okay, how do I do this? And like
how
some
the
tips.
Fuck do I do this?
Yeah, it's impossible.
Did you ever play the Simon game?
Oh, yeah. Was it Simon Says? No.
No, there is a Simon.
It's called
and there's
Simon.
A Simon
It's called
Says.
Simon. Yeah.
There is a difference, and I need you to know the difference. So
I know exactly.
My
what you're talking
parents were divorced, and so I'd have to do, every other weekend at my dad's, and I'd have a car ride, and I would play Simon in the car. So it's kind of shocking that I'm not like brilliant now.
Beep boop. It was like that. Beep, boop,
and I would get
beep.
really far, but then it's like I was in the backseat, and if I fucked up, it was like, wow, I'm in hell.
That was a infuriating feeling. When
It really
you
was.
got deep on the Simon. There wasn't even a like. It's so funny like what we just like went deep in on games as a kid. Like Simon was big. Bop It, same sort of thing.
I wasn't a huge Bop It person. I think I thought like, hey, this is stupid, and I don't like this.
I kind of liked it.
I think I had a little Nintendo too, a handheld.
Okay.
But
The
I was
Game
definitely
Boy?
like in my car, classic me on brand. I had my portable DVD player, and I'd watch movies on the car ride.
That's nice.
But I guess maybe on the days that it died or I forgot it, I'd play Simon, or I would draw artsy.
Nice. There you go. Flex the art skills. But yeah, Speed Cubers.
My dad'd be like, draw a turtle, and I would draw a turtle. So
the kids are like super wholesome in it too.
I bet. How old are they?
One just turned 18, and the other is I think 22.
Oh, okay. When you were saying kids, I thought they were like 12.
I mean, I'm sure there are like 12-year-olds.
Yeah.
There's some very little kids there for sure, but it's it's a good show. Good doc. It's only 40 minutes, so worth a watch.
That's great.
What else do we have going on? Some other news. Yeah. Got some news coming up. Borat 2. Did you ever see the first Borat?
No, it didn't look like it was for me, but I like Sacha
Baron Cohen?
Yes, and I love Isla Fisher. I actually watched Wedding Crashers recently.
She was in that?
Yes.
That's his wife.
Yes.
Okay.
Isla Fisher's the crazy redhead.
I
with
honestly
Vince Vaughn.
There's
Get
like
her confused with Amy Adams.
oh no. I meant in Borat. Yeah, I remember she's in Wedding Crashers.
She is Sacha Baron Cohen's real life wife.
Right, I knew that.
Then what are you saying?
I said Borat. Did you ever see that? And you said I love Sacha Baron Cohen and Isla Fisher.
Yeah, because Isla Fisher is married to Sacha Baron Cohen.
Okay, I didn't know if that was where I didn't got it. I wasn't sure if you were saying she was in that.
No, I don't know who's in that. I've
Right,
never
'cause you
seen
haven't
it.
seen
By
it.
now.
Right.
I'm Bruno. Wait, no, that's Bruno.
That's Bruno, right? Now we're getting.
I am Borat.
But so anyway, in the sequel, so in the first one, he goes around, he's trying to, being a big movie star. And the thing that I think was like interesting about it was because nobody really knew who Sacha Baron Cohen was at that point.
Yeah.
Like he had the Ali G show.
What about Talladega Nights?
That was prior or Talladega Nights was after this.
Okay.
But anyway, he in this one, supposedly after the success of his first film, Borat, the character, will go incognito to meet and interview people. So I think it's going to be very funny because he's going to be playing Borat, interviewing people, but while he's playing Borat, he's going to be playing Borat disguising himself as other people.
Yeah.
He's the dude disguised as another dude
Yeah.
playing another dude.
It sounds funny. Sacha Baron Cohen is definitely wild, so I'm down. Did you know he was supposed to be Freddie Mercury in Bohemian Rhapsody?
I did not, but that's a great casting choice.
Yeah, tall.
He can grow the mustache for sure.
That was a requirement.
I mean,
Actually, I'm
for
pretty
sure.
sure Rami's is stuck on.
No, that's disappointing.
Actually, I literally have no idea. I just made that up
Okay.
in my brain.
Okay. Yeah, who knows? But
I just can really tell when it's fake hair or real hair. Except watching Veep, I had no idea she was wearing a wig the whole time. That's crazy.
yeah, it makes sense, right? They're good. The Hollywood people, they know what they're doing, right?
No, but sometimes it's when I can tell it's a wig, it drives me crazy.
Yeah.
Season 5 of Friends, Phoebe's wearing a wig the whole time, and it bothers me.
We've come a long way. It's
sometimes
like
I
sewn
still know.
into your
I still know.
yeah. I was going to also say, I don't know if you saw this.
I don't see anything. I'm off the
Right.
grid.
Off the grid, no socials. For those who don't know, Ashley's off social media
for this month.
For this month, is it the month of September, or is it a month? Like, is it going to be October 10th or something?
Well, my birthday's on the 6th, so I think I'll give it back to myself before then. Happy
October
birthday
6th.
to me.
Got it. Okay. But Venus, supposedly, they think there's life on Venus, which is crazy.
I can't. I told you I can't with this information right now.
It's just I'll lighten the load. It's just microbial life. So
I don't know what that means.
it's
Plants.
like little like little bacteria stuff like that.
Oh, okay, cool. Neat.
Yeah, not
Neat.
like
Let's all go to Venus.
we would die, but
Okay.
we could take some
Or we
of
could
that
go to Mars.
life.
Did those
and bring it
people
back
ever
here.
go to Mars that were supposed to go there for a year?
No,
They were
nobody's
like,
gone.
this is a bad idea.
I think it will happen. Just we're waiting. We'll get there
I
eventually.
feel like we have bigger fish to fry. I feel
Yeah.
like the first person to sign up would be Elon Musk.
He's talked about it for sure, but we kind of need him here. So
Do we?
yeah, Tesla. I want a Tesla. I'm not gonna lie.
I was actually looking at them today because I was just thinking about sustainability and how the Earth is falling apart and we're all going to die. But I was looking at the Teslas and I don't really like the way they look, but I like what they do.
You don't like the way they look?
I like a boxier car. I think they're cool. Sorry, they're not my style, but I do think they're cool. I like that the doors fly up. Who needs that? But it's neat. And I think even the crazy ass one, the newest one that's like a truck, like this literal space one.
Yeah.
I was trying to think about could you imagine pulling up to a
No.
spotlight, a stoplight, and seeing that? That's crazy. The car is nice, and so is the SUV, but it's not my style. But I love the whole dashboard.
Yeah, I don't really care for the Cybertruck, but I love the Model X. It's probably my favorite.
I don't know them by name,
It's the
so you
SUV.
could say okay, yeah.
SUV one.
Yeah, they're definitely sleek looking cars, and I'm definitely down for cars that run on energy,
Yeah.
electricity,
Electricity.
plug,
Run on some sort of
You
energy.
just give it love, and then it goes. I don't know. I feel like eventually we're just gonna be Fred Flintstone in it.
Not a bad idea. I could work on some dexterity in my feet.
your feet would. Then it would just be like. Then Elon Musk could be coming up with shoes that would be able to handle that.
There we
much.
go. Now we're thinking $1 million idea.
Also, I used to Fred Flintstone it in my little McDonald's car that I had when I was little.
Right. And hey, that technology's never going out of style, right? We'll always have it.
Yeah. Or they could come up with an environmentally friendly Jimmy Neutron levitating mobile, which I will not get over.
One day. We can hope, right? We can remain
I just thought
hopeful.
that day would be now, but who cares because the world is ending.
Yeah. In other news, the NFL's back.
Yeah, I heard. I was trying to go to the farmer's market yesterday, and I saw people in jerseys, and I was like, good for you.
Yeah. Gives them something to cheer on, right?
Gives them something to care about.
Yeah, it was weird. I saw actually a commercial. I forgot this wasn't an update, but I saw a commercial for one of the worst looking shows of all time.
Go on.
It's called Connecting, and it's a show that entirely takes place on Zoom. So being
Why would we want to watch that?
Exactly.
That's the opposite of what we want to watch right now. We're
That's
so
what we do all
vulnerable.
day. That's what we do all day. We don't need more of it. We don't want to like escape to, oh yeah, these friends Zoom in, oh yeah, the pandemic, and they're going to be, they're going to be making jokes with like, so I get there, right? I get to the interview, he doesn't have a mask on, and they're going to be like, oh, and it's like, okay, nobody wants to watch this. We want to escape to this other world that doesn't exist because we're living in hell, like you said.
We are in hell. That is true. The rumors are true. But because, like, even The Bachelor and stuff, like, they're finding a way. I mean, they're basically bubbling it up as well. It's like there's different ways. We don't want to live
Not in a sitcom.
in Zoom.
Yeah. And it's just all...
I'd rather just wait.
Yeah. Just wait.
And I know
Make a
you
different
have.
show.
I know you have new stuff in the vault or whatever.
Yeah.
Just give me that one.
They got stuff.
Stop pushing back stuff that is new and not in quarantine, and give me the stuff. We want the stuff.
It looks horrendous.
Well,
I'll say that.
I'm not gonna watch it. I already have enough stuff that I can watch that was like not from this time. So I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, there's a lot of content out there.
Also, I'm just gonna read or something.
And speaking of new content, the new Dune movie.
It looks so good.
Have you read
And
the book?
No.
Okay. Do you know like the basic
I feel
story?
like we've talked about it. But no.
It's like a space.
Sand, Mars.
Not
they
Mars,
need
but yes,
oxygen.
different planets.
That's what I meant.
Okay.
They need different oxygen. There's obviously a love story. Jason Momoa, hovercrafts.
Close enough. Yeah, it's gonna be good. I mean, they got a packed cast.
I love a sci-fi-ish situation. Stranger Things has really changed me that way. But I mean, it just looked incredible, like so intriguing. And that monster thing that came out of the sand.
It's a worm, actually.
What does that remind me of?
A maker, they call it in the book.
That is truly giving me like some type of flashback of something.
Unlocking a memory. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, Denis Villeneuve is directing. Got to imagine he really doesn't miss.
I don't know him.
Did like Arrival. He did Blade Runner 2049, Prisoners. Did like
Cool.
He crushes it. But so he's directing. You got, like I said, star-studded cast. Your man.
My man Timothée, and to your surprise, I don't know, he did not bulk up, but he's just getting more and more handsome as he grows older.
So I don't think he's going to bulk up for this one because the movie's going to be split into two parts.
Okay. Why? And what? So I'm guessing you read the book.
I read the book.
In the second part, he eats a lot.
He gets stronger and becomes like...
Is he like the new prince or something?
Kind of.
A little prince, like
without
that,
revealing
like that
too
book?
much. Not the little, not the little prince. He like kind of leads a rebellion.
I'm into it. I love him, and also Jason Momoa looks good because I got really nervous when Jason Momoa did Aquaman. I was like, oh no, he's gonna take like the bad movies route. So I'm glad he's doing this. So it's like, okay, yeah, do this.
I never saw Aquaman, but I
heard
it
it was horrible.
Oh really?
I heard it was so
I heard
bad.
it wasn't that bad, but
Oh,
I never saw
I guess
it.
we should
So
watch it.
yeah, it'd be interesting. I'm not much of a DC guy. DC.
You're a Marvel boy.
Honestly, I don't think most of the superhero movies they're just okay.
I liked the first Avengers when I first saw it because I was like, look at all these people.
Yeah.
And I do want to watch the last one just because I heard it's just like interesting. So I'll watch it, but I never saw like Ant-Man or Deadpool, but I have heard Deadpool's really funny.
Yeah. they're entertaining, but that's usually as far as it goes.
Will you watch the Kamal one?
Yeah, probably. I'll watch most of them. Usually,
And now that they're all on Disney Plus, it's like.
Well, I don't
just
have
watch
Disney
it.
Plus, but it's
Oh.
like my go-to if I'm traveling. They're always on flights.
That's true.
They're
on
like plane.
flights.
They're like plane movies for me.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah,
Cool. Yeah, no, I'm really excited for this movie. I'm really nervous that it's going to get pushed back until forever. But just like, give me it, please, though.
I think they're wrapped, but yeah, I would imagine they're trying to get big audiences, so they
Well,
might.
because French Dispatch is done too, but it's getting
they're
pushed back.
Yeah.
And also, I can't remember. I think it's in pre-production though. But Find Me, the sequel to Call Me by Your Name, it's happening.
What's
you
it called?
guys, Find Me.
Find Me.
Yeah. Oof.
Both requests. Call Me by Your Name and Find Me.
Yes. Also, and I forgot 2 things. So Army Hammer, speaking of, is going to be in a movie with the girl that was Mamma Mia, who a lot of girls like. Anyways, but
Amanda
it's kind of like
Seyfried.
it's called Rebecca. No, not that girl in Mamma Mia. Correct, Mamma Mia too.
Okay.
Anywho, it's like it looks like it's gonna be a romance movie, and then it turns like spooky. And then a couple days later, after I saw that trailer, it came out that Harry Styles is gonna be in a like a romance movie, but it turns out like he's kind of crazy. Which, yeah, let's go.
Like a horror where he like.
I think more
turns
like a
on her?
thriller. I don't know if
Okay.
he turns on her. It's very vague right now, where it's like, is this happening? Who's to say?
Sounds kind of like The Shining.
No,
The Shining's awesome. That'd be awesome.
I've never seen it. I've just seen like scenes where
Great.
it's like that looks scary.
It's yeah.
I scare easily. I really want to watch Parasite, but I need to watch it with someone and at like noon.
There are parts of that where you're like, damn, that's scary as fuck.
I've heard people be like, amazing movie. It really fucked me up.
Yeah.
And I've watched the trailer. Even the trailer, you can be like, what is happening here?
It's fucked up for a lot of reasons, but there's also some parts that are just like viscerally
Spooky. Yeah.
terrifying.
That's when you read the plot summary, it's like, oh, this sounds fine.
Yeah, for the most part, but then
It's
some
not.
shit happens.
Yeah. Cool.
Now we're stepping into my wheelhouse. What's going on in TikTok?
TikTok got bought by Oracle.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
When did that happen?
Today. Oh.
Wow.
TikTok got bought by Oracle in the last minute. The saving grace. The hour. Is there like a sports term for that? The last minute. The
Clutch. Oracle's clutch. They have the clutch gene.
No, that's not what I mean. But I know what you're saying. Oracle. There's
Last second shot.
I know it because of like places that I've used to work, and there's a ginormous office here in Austin. So maybe there'll be a ginormous TikTok Austin, and then I'll renegade and hit the woe in the savage.
I think there are like TikTok jobs here already.
There are.
Surprisingly enough. Yeah, Larry Ellison just I guess put his nuts on the table and decided I'm gonna buy TikTok. Good for him.
Never say that again.
Put your nuts on the table.
Yeah,
That's a figure of speech.
that is gross and inappropriate and toxic masculinity. He put his nuts on the table. That's a horrible visual and sexual assault.
On the table?
Yes, on the table. If you whip your nuts out,
I didn't say anybody was in the room.
he whips his nuts out and everyone's intimidated even though they're not in the room.
Well, would it help if I said there were tiny baby nuts
No.
so they're not intimidating?
Still illegal.
Yeah. Well, I didn't mean it literally. I meant he put his money where his mouth is.
I think news just broke that he's a sexual offender, and Trevor said it.
Sure, go ahead and sue me, Larry Ellison, and then we'll settle out of court, and you'll give me everything you have.
So TikTok is here to stay,
I guess so. That's cool.
people.
And now Oracle has all your data.
And Addison Rae got cast in a movie.
Interesting, because she's such an actress, right?
Exactly. So they're doing like a reboot of She's All That, except it's going to be He's All That. And she's an influencer, and she's trying to make him like cool for the prom. And here's what I have to say. Addison Rae is obviously not for me. She's 19 years old, and I am like a million by now. And the next thing is give these parts to actresses who like are trying, and she just like pops up out of nowhere.
I mean, you know, they're
Maybe
always
it'll be
they're always
bad.
going to give it to the fucking popular person who's marketable.
It's just so
unfortunately.
crazy.
But that's, you know, it's the way Hollywood is. Hollywood.
That's showbiz, baby.
Yeah. I never saw She's All That.
I saw it a very long time ago.
Freddie
Freddie Prinze Jr.,
Jr.
who kind of fell into the abyss.
Yeah.
Who
he's
married the girl from Scooby-Doo.
Buffy.
Yeah, but what's her name? Veronica? No, Veronica's the... Daphne.
Daphne.
Nailed it.
Is
Nailed
it Veronica?
Veronica is...
Or who Jinkies? Who says Jinkies?
It's
Velma.
definitely
Velma.
Yeah, I was about to say, that name's usually a cool girl name.
Do you know anybody named Velma?
Not in real life. I also don't know anyone named Veronica.
Good point. Or Daphne.
Or Freddie.
Or Daphne.
Or Daphne.
Or Shaggy.
I do know some
Scooby. Couple Scoobs.
Damn, I used to watch those movies all the time. They're pretty spooky.
I never saw them.
Really?
Yeah.
The real life ones, they were kind of like inappropriate a little bit sometimes.
I've actually...
And then there was that gloopy, gloppy slime bad guy.
I was going to say, speaking of TikTok, I've actually seen clips of the inappropriate scenes. And yeah, it's like, how the fuck was this like a kid's movie?
Yeah. It was just like one of those movies that was on all the time. And I was like, oops, I shouldn't be watching this, but I am.
Matthew Lillard.
Same with Jersey Shore.
Reppin'. Interesting. Yeah, you know, hopefully, hey. Get that money. If I were her,
she's
I would,
getting all that money. She has so much going on right now. It's crazy.
But at the same time, you know, look for somebody who's actually acted before, maybe next time. And it might be a good movie then. Because it's probably not going to be a good movie now.
But the sad thing is, it's probably like right up my alley.
Yeah, what if you love it and you're like, she's great.
But also, like, because Olivia Culpo, who comes from, well, she used to be Nick Jonas's girlfriend. That's kind of how she got famous. But she used to do like pageants. Do you know who she is?
No.
She's kind of like a huge influencer now, and she's dating a football boy. She used to date
Olivia Culpo.
She used to date a really hot guy from the Patriots.
She's pretty.
Can you tell me who's not Tom
I'm
Brady?
Googling it. Danny Amendola.
Used to date him, and now she's dating another guy. But she did a movie with Luke Wilson, and I heard it was horrible. And then it made me be like, why is Luke Wilson in amazing movies and then like horrible, horrible movies?
Yeah. He's taken some shots that haven't really paid off in his
It's like
career.
once you're in Legally Blonde, how do you go any lower than that? Because Legally Blonde is amazing.
Oh yeah, apparently now she's dating Christian McCaffrey, another NFL guy.
Correct. They got a dog together.
Nice.
That's it.
Well,
Danny Amendola is hot or whatever his name is. But
yeah, you got it, Amendola.
I want to say Danny Manziel, Johnny Football.
He's jacked. He's wearing a really tight suit, and he looks like it's just a box.
I remember when he got drafted, he was wearing a brown suit, and he looked ugly.
You remember when he got drafted? You were watching the draft?
I'm sure I just saw
That's
photos.
the most surprising thing.
Hey, I'm sporty when I want to be, or maybe I was with people who were also watching it. It was
Apparently,
a long time ago.
Yeah, you've got the sporty.
I probably just saw pictures. Didn't he like go to the Browns and he was wearing brown? It's like he manifested it.
I honestly have no idea. Couldn't tell you.
Yeah, me neither.
You know more than me.
Say that again. Use that as the clip for this episode.
There you go. All right.
Cool.
Well, today's topic, we are talking body image.
We're talking about body image. We've done this before, like the top of quarantine, I'll tell you.
Yeah. It was early on. I think it was like first 10, somewhere around there.
Yeah, maybe. Who's to say anymore? God, we're so old. And it was right after we both listened to the Dak Shepard, Rob McElhenney, who I think is very attractive. Kumail
Nanjiani.
Yes, episode about the male physique, and then it just kind of sparked this body image conversation. And was that the same one as when we started talking about Adele?
Yes.
As well?
Yes.
Yeah, and then it kind of just turned into more of like Trevor's point of view, and especially because I feel like we never really hear a male's point of view about body image, so it was really interesting, and we plan to like talk about it some more. And now here's me talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think can go a lot of different directions with it.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. We can start wherever, but
so when was the first time you ever thought about like your body, or like, oh, I'm supposed to look like this?
It's a good question.
I just made like an age if you have like a...
I feel like it was probably like eighth grade. Okay. 8th grade, 9th grade, right around there.
Was it like I'm supposed to have muscles, or?
You just start thinking about like what is my dick and balls supposed to look like? First and foremost, because it's the first thing that's like starting to.
Okay, let's say more body and not genitalia.
But that
You
is
perv.
that is a part of it.
No, I
you
agree.
know?
I know, but just for this because I can't relate to that.
Yeah.
Because I think
Body was definitely
once it's
ninth
a
grade
vagina,
though.
it's a vagina.
Body was ninth grade because that's the first. In eighth grade, you're still sort of in the bubble of like youth, where you're an eighth grader. You still don't look that different than a sixth
Yeah.
grader. But then when you get to ninth grade and you see these 18-year-olds who are effectively grown men, and they're 270 pounds or 250 pounds, and you're like, I'm 140 pounds, like 5'6", 5'3". People shorter than that, it's just like you just start to see this huge disparity in what you look like versus what most of the other older guys look like, and you're like, oh shit. And
Yeah.
I think that's also right around where you start maturing very differently. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't grow until like really midway end of freshman year, where I shot up probably like 5 inches in that period.
Jealous.
And in that time period though, like I also didn't, like I wasn't like working out really. I didn't like eat a bunch. So all those factors combined, like people just develop very differently at that age as you're growing. Some people are naturally very muscular. Some people aren't. Some people have like slow metabolism. Some people have fast metabolism. So it's just like very easy to notice. And coupled with the brutality of just high school and like what people say.
It is brutal.
Everything is generally around what you look like physically. Any insult, any compliment, and like all, you're just so superficial at high school, despite what people probably want to think. It's just like the easiest target that people will find.
Yeah,
so.
and I feel like with guys too, it is more of like, it's more okay in quotes to be like, oh, you're puny. Like but I do feel like body image is much more prevalent with girls, but you wouldn't really necessarily say something unless you're a complete asshole about a woman's body. It's not necessarily like made fun of as much, but it is more like, oh, I'm supposed to be this thing. But just to give background, like I probably started thinking about my body in like 4th grade, and just like what it was supposed to look like. And I think especially for girls, I feel like you probably grew up in a house where your mom was talking about what she was supposed to be eating and what her body looked like more than dads talked about that kind of stuff. Like I remember my mom was always on a diet or talking about the way she looked, or we're gonna eat well tonight, or we're gonna go on a diet, we're gonna eat healthy and things like that, or like 100-calorie packs.
You're saying as a girl that's more likely?
I guess just from a mom, like having that in the mom. So maybe since like being a girl, it kind of rubs off on you a little bit more maybe.
Yeah, that could be, because I was gonna say my parents were both very all about like, okay, exercise, this is what you do. Eating wise, you can eat this, you can eat that, but you should also eat some of this. It wasn't like one more focused, one didn't really care. But there was like a definitely a disparity in like how much they ate, portions.
Yeah.
But also my dad's like way bigger than my mom, so it'd be kind of crazy if my mom ate as much.
Well, no, I think it was definitely more like if it's like we're eating well, it's because my mom was like, this is what we're eating tonight, but also because she was probably cooking as well. And it's like I feel like dads are usually like, oh, don't you want to have pizza? Anyways, so that's probably when I first started thinking about my body. And then like when my body started changing, as we've noted on the show, and everybody knows I'm an early bloomer, and so being Italian, like I have bigger thighs and I have a bigger bottom. And I just remember like, I think specifically I lost a lot of weight in 7th grade just because like I dropped fast food because that's what the dance team told me to do. And I'm just a rule follower. And so I lost a lot of weight, but I remember like having a pool party at my house and being like, I wish I didn't look like this. And just to like a point where it's like not healthy, where it's just like, I wish I was smaller.
Which grade was this?
7th,
you said?
7th or 8th grade. I was just like praying that my hips were smaller, like hoping that I would walk outside and they would be like smaller.
I definitely thought like, now that you kind of like unlock some memories, like I do remember, I don't know if this was 6th or 7th grade, but it was like I forget what year it was, but one of the years when I lived in Memphis, we had to do the president's fitness test. and I remember not being able to do
What is
one
that?
pull up. You never had to do like the U.S. National
I
President's
don't
Fitness
know.
Test. There was like all these requirements. Like you got certain points for like every guy was supposed to be able to do 2 pull ups.
Yeah.
Every guy was supposed to be able to do I think 50 sit ups.
I don't
You had to do the
remember.
pacer test.
Oh my God, I hated that shit. I also hate suicides, which is a horrible name and correctly named.
Yeah, for real. They've probably just stuck with ladders at this point. Although I guess that's a different thing, right?
Yeah, ladders is, you're like,
You go up, down,
Yeah.
up, down, up, down. But suicides is like just back and forth. There's no.
no. Well, I guess
thinking of
maybe it's just
different
like,
things?
maybe there's different kinds of suicides. Because I feel like that's how suicide is, unless I just don't remember.
Yeah.
But I remember when they would say suicides, I was like,
Haven't
can I
done
like
'em-
break my ankle, please?
Yeah. Haven't done them since.
No, it's not like, oh, you know what I should try next time I'm at the gym?
Great workout.
How could I be more sad today?
Yeah, right, yeah. And then it's aptly named very
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah,
But
that name should be banned, but
I think they probably taken a
Don't say
look
that
and
anymore.
changed it. Yeah, except maybe like some hardo high school football coach.
suicides.
But anyway, I was gonna say, I thought about it then because I just remembered like because it was in front of everybody. You had to do this test in front of everybody, and
which
like,
is so rude.
yeah, it's like I mean, I get it. You should whatever, but like at the same time, not being able to do it was just so.
Humiliating.
Yeah, it was emasculating for
I
sure.
really don't remember that, so maybe we didn't do it. But I switched schools a lot, and I was probably at a Christian school when that happened. But I do remember, like, once I got to high school, having PE, especially when I didn't have it last hour, was my worst nightmare. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, don't make me do this. I'm going to pass my crush in the hall any moment now, and now I'm sweaty. And I wore shorts down to my knees, and I'm very short, so I look like an idiot.
Sweaty, gross. We did at your school. Did you guys were you forced to take showers after PE or anything like that?
No, I don't think we had showers.
Okay, we weren't forced, but there was the option. Nobody really did. Like people kind of thought
Yeah.
the person who would shower was a weirdo. So there wasn't that like extra.
I do remember one grade though. It was like enforced. Either the guys had to like work out less, or maybe they had to shower because they smelled so badly.
Yeah, I mean, if you were playing sports, you had to shower.
Yeah, it's like they would come back from PE and smell like sweat and like what's like a popular guy's deodorant that smells like ass.
I feel like everybody
What's the one that's like for men?
used
Old
Old Spice.
Spice,
Yeah,
yeah.
in high
I
school.
feel like there's another one too.
Axe. Was a big
Axe,
one,
yes, that one smells
But
so
that wasn't even-
bad.
that wasn't even
That's
really
just like
deodorant.
pouring chemicals.
Yeah,
in.
you just
yeah,
sprayed
but it's
yourself.
still strong as fuck
For sure.
And you just smelled that with like 15-year-old boy sweat. It was horrifying.
Axe was disgusting. People would also do Axe bombs in high school where you just like you
Yeah.
push the thing down so it can't come up and then it just continues spraying. You put it in somebody's locker or something like that.
High school.
Yeah, fun times.
Yeah, but I remember always struggling with my size and wishing I was smaller. I have very strong legs, but I think when I was younger, I remember my family would be like my dad, for one instance, was like, "Oh, you're getting a belly like your dad," and I was just like, "What?"
Not a great
And then like
thing.
I grew up like that whole side like is all uncle, so I feel like they would say things that you probably shouldn't say to young girls, or maybe because they're used to like growing up with guys or stuff, and it's just like, "Oh, like you've put on a little weight," and it's like.
Doesn't exactly
fuck?
build confidence.
Yeah, and so, but I think, I don't know, I do feel like there is a different way we take in body image, especially being girls, just because for women, there's so many things marketed with like losing weight or looking a specific way, and I do realize that's the same way for guys as well, but I feel like just girls have a bigger expectation of like looking a certain way.
I think, yeah, I mean, it's interesting because I do feel like there is, I mean, even just like the interest in it, the interest level in looking, like guys definitely have their own version of it.
Yeah.
But just the interest level in like looking at somebody's like Instagram feed of the ads versus
Yeah.
the ads of a guy. The girls is just vastly different. A
And
lot
just
of it.
the options we have, like the fact that body makeup is even a thing is like, hey, is this
Wait, what is body makeup?
like makeup for your face is for your body to like cover up, like if you have varicose veins or if you don't like the way your legs look, like
Oh, I haven't even
Kim
heard of that.
Kardashian sells body makeup and it's to like cover up your skin.
Wow, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, and it honestly hasn't been like ashamed as much. And also something else that she sells and something that Kardashians are known for is like, I think I showed it to you when we did like the shapewear one, but the waist trainer, which basically just like, I can't imagine, but it must just push your bones together.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it looks like a corset, which
Yeah.
they stopped doing that because it constricted your organs into a confined space to the point that you had difficulty having natural bodily function.
Yeah. And just the fact that it's like, skincare that's anti-aging, contouring is to make your face look smaller, just like, and the fact that women even wear makeup and it's such a huge thing, like, we're just changing our faces. And as a woman, like, I mean, I love when I feel like I don't need to wear makeup, and I like being able to wear makeup, but it is crazy how much is marketed to you of just like, well, this is what your face should look like.
It's interesting also to see there's been a massive shift, I would say, in the past like 15 years. Like you look at like what a quote unquote like supermodel looked like in like 1970 to what like the supermodels, which today I feel like effectively supermodels are like Instagram models. Like anybody who is like a supermodel is on Instagram with millions of followers. Like
I do still think this is like a different thing completely, but I do still think like Gigi Hadid is a supermodel where like influencers, I think some have turned into models, but I still don't think it's like you're just automatically that, but you are giving off like this model vibe.
if you are a supermodel, you are an Instagram influencer. I think like Gigi Hadid is an Instagram influencer.
I really wouldn't call her an influencer. Just because like that's not how she makes her money. She makes her money by modeling.
That's not her only thing. I agree. Like she has other things. It's not she's only on Instagram and that's how she got her start or anything, but she is actively like on Instagram.
Well, then any famous person is an influencer
to an extent
if you're making influence. But
I also think like there's a certain type of pictures that are like very you're doing like modeling photos on your Instagram, you know. My whole point of bringing it up is like just looking at pictures, like I said, back in the day, it's interesting to see this crazy shift in what the female form looks like, or what the quote unquote
on the day-to-day basis.
On the day-to-day, but even just like I read this article about quote unquote Instagram face and like how it interviewed like a number of different surgeons in Southern California, and there's this woman who wrote this article I think for the New York Times, and it was about just the vast shift that there's been like I said, in like past 10 years, really, since Instagram came out, to look effectively like a Kardashian.
Yeah, it really is. And you can see it like when you put the filters on, how like it is like very close to what the Kardashians look like. But I do think it's interesting because I recently was like, TikTok, you can just fall in a hole. Well, obviously weeks ago because I haven't been on TikTok, but just saying how like, well, the Kardashians are technically kind of like started trying to look how black girls look, with like making their lips bigger and doing things with their eyes and whatnot. But it has turned into the Kardashian look. So for that purpose, we will continue because that's obviously a whole conversation that I'm obviously not super educated in. But yeah, it is like they just became this idea for beauty. And also I'm just like overwhelmed because we could go so many different ways body image. So I'm just gonna like let it go where it goes.
Yeah, for sure.
But one thing the Kardashians did do, no matter what they've had done, they do naturally have curves. They do naturally have a body that wasn't quote unquote accepted kind of before they became super cool and famous and who they are. So like Kim Kardashian made it cooler to have hips, which was great for a lot of people. Yeah. And so I think they did that. But the sad thing is that like you can tell because they do all these things to themselves that like they're obviously trying to reach a level of beauty as well. So they don't even think like they're good enough yet.
Right. And it's also just not, I think you look at, how much surgery some of them have had. Yeah. And
obviously we'll never even know exactly.
No, we will never know. And it's also like, I think the sad thing is you see a lot of young girls, women who think that they have to have that in order to look beautiful. And the other thing is like these women, the Kardashians they could get a surgery every day if they wanted to.
And we'd have no idea. Yeah, and I think that's the thing too. It's so misleading because you're looking at them like, oh, well, Courtney's 40, like that's what I should look like at 40. And even if you're not even really doing that in your head, like we're taking in so much information, especially like on Instagram, like you're kind of just thinking that anyways. And Amy Schumer said it best. She said how like the Kardashians just think that like their face is like a light gesture. It's just because Kylie started at like 18 or maybe younger to like, I mean, you might have to legally be 18, but I don't know with lip fillers. And also they feel like they can do anything. Anyways.
If you have parental consent, which going to say they probably do.
Yeah.
I don't think you have to wait until you're 18.
Yeah. And just like making these changes when you're so young and just like thinking about how much my mind has changed, especially about my body and who I am. And like just making these they're not all permanent, but still just like making these changes and thinking you're supposed to look this way. And they do get shit on for like the content they put out, which are like, I mean, I obviously don't support like a lot of the stuff that they do, but I think it's important to realize like they also aren't okay in their bodies or like, cause I don't think they would be doing all of these things if they felt like, oh, I love myself. I'm beautiful all the time.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that's important. And I think where we're at right now, I think we're at completely different ends of the spectrum where one, it's like influencers, they literally look perfect all the time. Everything's happy. They're so beautiful. But then we have people who, like Lizzo and like people are coming out and being like, my body's beautiful. I do whatever the fuck I want. Beyonce, like Adele, who are like, no, like look however you're supposed to look. And so it's cool to see because it is important to have people like Lizzo and people. It's great to see people who have bodies that look like yours and are celebrating it instead of being like, this is what I look like and I love myself, but also this is what I do to change it sometimes.
And also even just not just look like yours, but also look different than everybody else's.
Yeah,
because
different than what I've been shown is what a body should look like.
Yeah, you see so many of these, like I said, like Instagram models that have like we said, the filters make you look like the same person.
Yeah.
And to see somebody who's like, you're like, oh, that person's beautiful. Like they don't look anything like this quote unquote standardized amalgam of beauty people, and they're like still gorgeous, and it's like, okay, you don't have to look this fucking exact specific way. I mean, it's just like, I think that is like very positive because a lot of guys out there, like, and not saying it's like for guys, but I think a lot of guys out there don't even like some of that aspect. And I'm not saying it's for guys, but just like the idea that I think there is an expectation of like guys only like the Kardashians,
a specific body type.
I'm not saying the Kardashians, but like that look.
Yeah.
Is more what
and
I
I
mean.
get what you're saying. I'm glad you said that to be like minutely vulnerable for a second. I think sometimes because I'll just say like as a woman, I think about the way my body looks every single day.
Yeah.
No matter what I put on. And I even saw, and also something cool about Instagram, it's like, also I'll just say like, take this advice if you want, curate your feed. Like it's so helpful. Like if you're following someone and it's like, oh, I just realized that person made me feel not so good, like unfollow them. And then there's so many good Instagrams now. Like I saw one recently, it was like people who you don't even realize you're looking in the mirror like however so often and you're judging your body or how you look in like those 2 seconds and you don't even realize it. And just like how often we're doing that. But yeah, I think about my body every day, like when I wake up, if I change my outfit, all of that stuff. So I think it's just important to follow these people and just like really become aware of like what you're doing and how you're kind of like feeding into the fact that you need to change in any type of way. Because I think sometimes I am like, oh, I am too big. Like no one's going to like me because there is this stereotype of like guys don't like this.
Yeah.
And so it's so important to see different bodies, people in relationships, people loving their bodies. And so it's just like, keep doing that. And remember, Yeah. In terms of just like finding a partner or somebody that likes what you have, your body, your, shape, whatever it may be, there's such a wide spectrum of guys and out there that like various things. Like,
it's hard to find, like, we do our like top 5 or whatever. Those are our own personal taste of
Yeah.
who we find most attractive. Those are like, you know, like I think you're hard pressed to find 5 guys who agree on the same
the
top
same person.
5.
Yeah, it's just like who you're attracted to. And I do think, we kind of get where it seems very, what's it, not materialistic, but like
Shallow.
yeah,
Yeah.
because it's just like but it's like people are attracted to different looks, and I think every person, no matter if they look like Harry Styles or not, like I'll be attracted to who I'm attracted to, and that doesn't mean like the person next to me is going to be attracted to that person. Like we're all going to be attracted to different people, so I feel like that never really comes from like a super shallow place. It's just kind of like my type, what interests me. Like,
Yeah.
I had plenty of people tell me they don't find Nick Jonas attractive. Does it hurt my feelings? Yes. Does it change my mind? No.
For sure. Like, I mean, even just like speaking from personal experience, I think everybody wants everybody to like them to an extent, you know. At a certain
Yeah.
point you don't really care, but like if you hear some girl that you think is attractive be like, "Oh, I like a guy who's really, really hairy."
Yeah.
And you're not that hairy. You're like, I kind of wish I was
Has
hairier.
some implants.
And yeah, I mean, that's like the type of thing that I don't think most guys would get, like, you know, whatever, arm hair plugs, but
I wanted to see where you're gonna go with that.
but like making you question that, and
it's
like
kind of
that's
like, aw.
yeah, and it's like that's one girl. Like there's a girl
Yeah.
out there who's like, I love the same type of body hair or whatever that this person has. Like,
Yeah.
you just, I think you shouldn't be like
I
so
need to
hung up on.
change.
Yeah, I need to change. And
Well, and because it's in like, why would I ever want to be with someone who wants to change something about me,
yeah, I mean,
or is so caught up in the body aspect where it's like, okay, well, you have some things to work on for yourself.
sure. I think like self-confidence in your own.
Yeah, and that's like the whole thing, and I feel like that is something that we need to learn more, especially when how we were talking about like junior high, high school. Is like confidence just wasn't really taught. It was more like blown to bits, and then you just kind of have to try to rebuild it, even though it's blown to more bits a little bit depending on your experience in college.
Yeah, you'll get your confidence blown to bits periodically through the rest
all the
of your
time.
life.
I think it's just something super important to work on, because confidence, like I feel like even watching shows, like no matter like how attractive like you found the person, like depending on their personality, like they can become way more attractive or way less attractive.
100%. I think most of the time when you're like interested in somebody, that initial attraction only goes so far. It's not gonna get you the girl long term. If you're interested in someone, and you know, or if somebody's interested in you, that initial attraction might lead to a second date, but probably
But
not.
if it's not there, it's not
if there's
there.
nothing there, there's probably not much more that can really convince them. And then again, if let's say there's not as much of an initial attraction, if your personality's great and you're super confident, you can easily like sway somebody to be like, wow, my opinion has completely changed off of what my first impression was.
Totally.
I think the confidence thing is huge.
So definitely don't change for someone else, especially just the idea of like what you think someone wants you to be. I think it's just so important to fill your life with like healthy thoughts, and it's and obviously like I can only speak for women, because it is just such a constant in your head that it's like you do have to do outer work or kind of go out of your way to work on it, because you're doing it so much more than you even realize, especially with diet culture, which is such a huge thing. And I hope to like eventually have someone on to talk about that, because there's so much changing all the time with that, with like stuff you kind of thought was healthy verbiage, and it's just not anymore, and like all these changing diets and all these things that we kind of thought were like positive messages that they're really not. So it's just like an ever-changing world, and I feel like that's why you have to be so confident and like sure of yourself, so then it's just not swaying you as much.
Yeah, for sure. And like I agree, just like as long as you're trying to, you know, be healthy in terms of like mental and physical, whatever the combination of that is that best suits your personal life.
Yeah.
That's the best that you can ask for, you know? Like I think there are people who achieve a level of physical fitness, but because they get to that level, they kind of destroy their mental health in the process, even though they may be physically very healty. And
it's not all equal. You have to work on them all.
You need that sort of like balance so that they can both elevate kind of together rather than separately.
Yeah, and I think too that is something. In speaking just from a girl's point of view, is food was never taught like, hey, this is energy and this is how you live. It was like, this one will make you fat and this one will make you skinny.
This is high in fat.
And
this
now
is
feel
not.
like shit because you chose this one. Okay, bye.
And yeah, there was so little emphasis on like what is nutritional versus what isn't. You know?
It was just like, broccoli's gross. Do you want this Uncrustable?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like Gushers, bad for you.
Yeah.
Okay, obviously. It's a little sack filled with sugar. Or like, you know,
Wet
like you
and
said,
gushy.
Exactly. Wet and gushy Gushers.
That didn't feel good.
But yeah, just like kind of, I don't know, there's so little emphasis on that. And like you said, it is always changing. So I think you kind of have to play that by ear as to like what feels good to you. And like, it's a trial and error process. Nobody like really figures it out until they think they get much older.
Dead.
Until you're dead.
Yeah, do what makes you happy and what makes you feel good, and fuck them all.
Fuck them all. Yep, that's the best thing. Do what makes you happy.
And fuck them all.
And also fuck them all.
That's important. Fuck
all
the
right.
haters.
I think that's we've
that's
kind
time.
Of,
I mean, this conversation could go many ways, so that was a very, very broad side of it, and I'm sure we'll talk about it later and have experts, especially around the like nutrition and stuff, because hey,
a part 3 will definitely be in the works at some point. But in the meantime, go ahead and go into your. Oh wait.
You need to pick a movie.
Okay, I'm sorry. What were the two again? It was
Wait.
Beyonce, Homecoming, correct? Or give me the first letter.
Bum, 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 bum. S.
S. Okay, second letter.
No, it's like the most ooh word. E.
Oh, Sex and the City. Yeah. I'll pick the Beyonce Homecoming.
Okay, that's on Netflix. That is.
Oh wait. But you said the other one
Sex
is
and the
gonna
City's probably
be
might go away. But I mean, who listens to me? Am I right?
And that's on Prime.
Unless you want to watch the show.
I'll watch the Sex and the City one.
Okay, you're not gonna like it.
I mean, hey, you didn't really care for. I mean, you liked it. I guess you did like The Departed, but there was a lot of it that you were like, meh.
Yeah, for sure. It's just sad because the show is such a better, like
representation of what it is.
And this is just kind of like a cheat. It's still, I mean, hey, I will watch Sex and the City any day of the week.
I'll get the gist, right?
Get the gist, and then honestly, I would recommend you watch Sex and the City at some point in your life. It's very good.
Yeah, my parents
and
watched
it would really give us a lot to talk about on this show.
We'll see. I might not, but there's a lot out there.
It's only 6 seasons.
Maybe I'll watch it. We'll see.
30-minute episodes.
I'll see what I think of the movie and then go from there.
Just watch the first episode. Well, I would honestly watch the first episode and then watch the movie.
Well, now we'll see.
20 minutes.
I'll at least watch. Oh, they're 30 minutes?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was an hour.
No.
Okay, I could maybe do that then. We'll see.
Also, for everyone that literally just heard me say that before I said it again, just giving that a little. But they do give like a little summary at the beginning of Sex and the City, the movie, of everything that's went down.
Okay, so next
week, but the next week.
Not next week.
2 weeks from now, some might say.
Okay, perfect.
We're going to watch Sex and the City.
Sex and the City movie review.
The first one, because the second one's also on there, so don't get confused.
I didn't even know there was a second one. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, there is. There's not a third one because what they were going to do was absolutely horrible, so I'm so glad they didn't do that.
All right, well, they stuck with the sequel. But I was going to say, go ahead and go into the Apple Podcast app. Leave a review, 5 stars, rating, please.
Friends Without Benefits.
It helps the show. Go and ask a question, friendswithoutbenefits.site. We do monitor those questions. We love to get them in. Only gotten a few so far, so if you have something that's weighing on you heavy, whether it relates to body image or something we've talked about previously,
or
and
dating in a pandemic.
Yeah, dating, Zoom. Maybe you love that show, Connecting, and you have some thoughts. Let us know.
Follow us, Friends No Bennies, on Instagram and Twitter. Also, I heard you were doing some polls. Are there any results, or are you forgot to check?
Doing some polls. I checked about 18 hours in. I didn't realize it didn't give you like a final score of what the end result was.
It does.
Oh, it doesn't?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll have to figure out.
Well, it shows like this many people voted for this and this many people voted for this.
But like when it's over.
No, it doesn't say, hey, Trevor.
I wanted
this
to know
what's up. You
yeah.
can go into the archives and look at it.
Okay, I'll do that. When I checked 18 hours after I posted the story asking.
Did you only do that one, the grinding one?
I did another one today.
What was it?
I think I forget what it was, but I was going to say, I did.
I feel like this is like a gateway drug, and I'm on Instagram, and I'm fueled up right now.
I'm giving you, fuck, I can't think of. I was gonna say whatever the drug they give you to get off of heroin is, but,
Oh my God. Also on my ride here, I saw a guy get so high in his car. I've never seen that much smoke in my life. It was wild.
Oh shoot. Okay, wait. So it was the original poll was how many people do grind trains? How many people have had grind trains at your school dances?
Yeah.
88% said yes.
Nice.
And 12% said no. So I said y'all are nasty.
We
or no,
are
I said
nasty,
y'all are wild, not nasty. And then today I said your man comes to bed wearing this. Is this a deal breaker? And it was the Scrooge hat and
Yes is
gown.
winning.
Yes, 57% say it's a deal breaker. 43%
Y'all are
no.
shallow. In the shallow.
That one's split though, so go vote.
still.
But yeah, Twitter, Instagram @FriendsNoBennies. That's all we got. We got another episode next week,
And that'll be the 30th.
that'll be 30. Yeah, that'll be a big one. All right, y'all.
Catch you next time. Bye-bye.